Hey everyone, Day here, and welcome back to The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Let's Play. So it's been well over a year since I truly have last recorded for this series. I did just upload one I had in my backlog for some reason. I was like, oh wow, I already have some stuff recorded, so I did just post that, and so you guys should be pretty much on the same page that I'm getting ready to record for. This is the trial for Sosuke, Natsume, I believe. Might not have said that completely correct, but I believe that's something of his name. I will look into it a little more once I actually get back into the case. And we are currently looking into the Garrideb's residence, which we could kind of see like a sneak preview right here on the title screen, which is nice. So we're gonna hop back into it. I did do some testing, and things seem to be on the up and up, so I will hop right into it. There are some things I know and some things I still don't know about the case. I did go a little bit forward because I wanted to like try to refresh myself, but that's probably not the best way to refresh yourself. That's just kind of cheating. But so yeah, we're back into it. We're at the Garrideb residence. I know her name is Joan. Don't know his name by heart. So I'm going to cheat right now, and yeah, Sosuke Natsume, and well, her name's Joan. He calls her Joan. Oh, his name is John, and he's only 46. I'm sorry, but the guy looks much older. Like, I would not have said he was younger than 50. But okay. So as far as the investigation goes, we have the backlog here saved. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that was something that you can do. Sholmes is investigating. Da da da. Wow. So even just saving and quitting, you still get access to your backlog. It's pretty cool. I've known other games that give you a backlog normally, and if you save and quit, it's just washed away. Like, you don't keep and retain that information for some reason. So this is one of the only, actually this is the first game I've ever played that does this, so that's really nice. But to hop back into it, we don't really know too much about these two. At least I don't remember too much about these two. I just know that Joan likes to spill tea on Mr. Garrideb when things seem like when he seems to be getting ready to answer things honestly. Like, if anyone in this room is someone I would choose to be someone hiding information, it's Mrs. Maid over here. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. So yeah. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. What, that old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it. The general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the metal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, for distinguished participation. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Sign me up for a participation medal too, please, Sosuke. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Oh, I could click on this one too. It looks like a picture of him, actually. Not much. Actually, it couldn't have been that long ago. He almost looks like himself within that picture. That portrait of Mr. Garrideb is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrideb as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. That it does.
I assumed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket.
Seem to come back? What do you mean, exactly?
The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
But you like it enough to have it on your mantle of your fireplace. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Sada-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter, or her tosses. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though.
That old thing? Pah! Not much better than rocks, really.
Oh?
Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the old piece of memorabilia lying around, does it?
Oh, I see. Perhaps we shall leave the past in the past. But that's how you gain information in a murder investigation. Like, I mean, aren't we supposed to be fishing for information? Isn't that like key fundamental knowledge to obtain? I mean, potentially. It might have nothing to do with it, which I guess it doesn't, since we're not allowed to investigate that deeply. But sometimes the past, and we have had cases that go way back in the past, like years, 7 years plus in the past. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
That old thing.
Is this literally the best way he knows how to describe anything? Like, that old thing?
Bah, that's little more than a toy.
Sorry? Ryunosuke's falling into habits too.
The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never knew when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house.
Really? It isn't overkill? If he actually tried to take someone out with a cannon, I feel like it would be too slow. Like, yes, granted, if it actually did meet its mark, it would be overkill. But in order to hit someone with a cannon, you have to light the fuse. It just feels like there's just no way it will be able to meet its mark. Like, I feel like it's harder. It'll be a tedious way to try to kill someone that's not on a ship than it would be useful.
Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy.
Like, I mean, I could be completely wrong. I don't really know too much about cannon fire outside of, like, pirates movies and stuff like that. I do also know that I don't know, do they still use cannons? War? I don't know. But, if they do, that, I could see that working too, in its own way, but not just for self-defense in your own home. I just don't think it'll work. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garrideb?
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the bell, you see. They dry very well on the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel.
You know, for a maid, he gives her a lot of leeway. I could think of, lesser homeowners that would allow such treason of their memorabilia, though, of course, for Mr. Garrideb, he's gonna pretend like he hates everything, I think. It's been reduced to a drying rack, and one of the huge cannon looks like it's hanging his head in shame. It doesn't really look like that. Come on, Ryunosuke. That's exaggerations. Alright, I don't think, I'm just reading. I think that I need to go somewhere. And we have an exclamation point, so I'm guessing that's the next destination, which is fine by me. Let's see what we have. 19th February, Mr. Natsume's room. Natsume. What? Just look at this place. Books everywhere. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountain of old books that are responsible for that. is Susato taking it all in, or is there something more afoot?
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me neither. I mean, I've been to libraries, but I do realize this is a different time period in their lives compared to my life. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the only way they could see that many books, especially in someone's abode, would be pretty rare to see something like that, I'm sure. It's so dark in here too. Well, the window is boarded up with bricks, so don't expect to see too much.
Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time.
But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar.
Why? Like, it seems like it's more so a prison in here than anything.
I don't know. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you?
No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Well, if he's here, he's here. There's probably other areas to explore in this room. Maybe he's hiding behind the books. Like, it kind of looks like he could be, like, behind the books over there, but I highly doubt it. He was sticking out like a sore thumb otherwise. Okay, this is like the biggest glaring thing in the room, so I want to click on him. So cute. And he's gone.
Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Did they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan.
That's made me feel homesick now. Oh, Ryanosuke. I mean, for him, it's been, what, 3 months or so? They were on the boat for a while.
Already, we've only been in the country for 2 days.
I mean, you might have been in the country for 2 days, but he's been away from his homeland for way longer, so I think that's feasible. Like, my first time away from home, I felt homesick within a week, so it makes sense.
Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
No, what a dreamy idea.
I know, right? I personally love the smell of books. Like, I don't know if musty means like the actual smell that I'm acquainted with, or if they're like getting mildewy from their standing position, so to speak. So, but I love books, and I mean real books. I do have a lot of Kindle books nowadays, but still, there's nothing better than an actual stone cold real book in hand. Like, I feel like Kindle books are great for nighttime reading because you don't have to worry about lights and all those doohickeys. But outside in the sunlight, a real physical copy of a book just is awesome.
A bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
Her face.
Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as this tea ceremony teaches us.
I mean, yeah, I highly doubt anyone's digging a book out that resides at the bottom of a stack now. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Okay. Is this book, or am I clicking on the window? It's kind of hard to tell.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Why does he sound like an evil villain in a movie or something?
But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
And is that such a crime? Is that such a bad thing? Like, I implore you to actually think about it, Ryanosuke. Like, dreaming of books, reading books by daylight. Like, it just sounds like a good life. Like, if you can, like, eradicate work, that would be great. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a secondhand bookshop. Your books. Ha ha ha. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. It's midday. That's the day of the incident. Well, I guess that's definitely more important than what I just said, isn't it? That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Secondhand book receipt has been entered into the court record. A receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a secondhand bookshop before the incident occurred. Okay. The receipt looked just like a stamp from a library card or something. Like the old-fashioned ones from my childhood. So I can't investigate the bag. Seems a little interesting to me. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Manaki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I'm one of the lucky charm. So much for your lucky charm. The first time you got in, literally, you were thrown into the death of your best friend. What was his name? It's like I know his name. It's right there, but I can't think of it. That's gonna bother me later. I'm not gonna dwell on it right now, though. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? Nor was yours. Like, it's literally your situation. Down to the same events, if you really want to look at you having a lucky item, too. You mustn't say such things. You didn't say a word. You totally did, Ryunosuke. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Oh, did he think it? Oh, sorry. That totally was a thought. I thought he actually said it out loud. That shows that I'm not paying attention anymore. I'm trying to think. What was his best friend's name? That's gonna bother me. It's like Ryuji or... Darn it, I don't remember. Ryoma, Ryuji. Wait. Whoa. I almost had it. Sorry, I really hope that I get it soon because I am literally gonna be thinking about that. That's gonna bother me. I know his name, that's why. This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too. I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. A gas meter? Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in a meter. So, if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night. Wow, so what, roughly about 10 hours tops, maybe? So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold? That's another way to look at it that I hadn't considered. That's right. As with a rich man who only carried crisp white notes. That's totally a different thought that would not have. Yeah, that's not something I would have thought of. Like, not immediately anyway. Ugh, London is a scary place. Guess that's everything. Oh. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them in English. Sorry, I'm like, so I could click on the paper, but I couldn't click on the bag. The bag looks like so suspicious, but I guess it's just not, there's nothing in it. We already had that kind of investigation with the last case, so. Or I guess that was 2 cases ago. The other one was what was that crazy wannabe Joker dude's name? I forgot. Like, that guy was insane. And I think he got away with it too, didn't he? It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? Or deeply averse to tidying up his mess. Considering the state of the room, I kind of have to side with Ryunosuke. That's all. That's pretty much all I can say. I mean, considering the state of the room, yes, I feel like that Sosuke is not the tidiest person we have ever met. I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth. That's just nice of you. So, oh, here's Sholmes within the tomes of books. Wait, Herlock Sholmes. Yeah, that's right. It's so weird saying it backwards. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Aha! There he is! Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of a notebook. I hope you won't mind if we disturb him. Hello! Mr. Sholmes! I hope that wasn't too loud.
Ah, you two. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes! We were together on the SS Bureau.
Yes, of course. The Bureau. And let me see. What happened on that voyage?
It was Kazuma Asogi. Thank you, Ryunosuke. He died tragically, but you were a great help to us. He locked you in handcuffs for the better portion of that trip. And not to mention the fact that whenever you would help him in his logic theater, he would lock you right back in those handcuffs afterwards. I mean, sure, I guess you could say he helped, but it was more like he provided little tiny footnotes that you were able to latch onto to solve the case in its true full.
Ah, yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Ah. Oh. Well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madame, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic.
A brain attic? I like that. I like that a lot.
Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato.
No. You're not, I mean, close, but no cigar. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes.
I lose the first round, my boy.
Like, seriously. I just feel like he's playing with us at this point. Like, maybe he's always been. Like, I just don't take him seriously as a character. Not as a character. I don't take his personality seriously, I guess. Like, I just feel like maybe he does hold all the cards in his hand. And, he just teases us because he's just so far ahead in his logic and reasoning, and he just wants us to catch up the good old-fashioned way. I mean, I guess that's one way to portray him, or at least he could be portrayed. Because I just feel like he toys with us a lot of the time.
In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London, but some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course, took the matter in no more than 30 minutes. But they apprehended Sosuke-san in that short of an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little.
A little?
It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventurer
entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself.
I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully.
He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I should be only too pleased. This murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case.
We already examined this room more than I care to admit. What do you have to tell us about this? We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Sosuke Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road.
Natsume, yes. I believe it was a name rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance.
I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance.
Wasn't it in his head?
It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension.
Oh? How?
I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your astute compatriot of the crime.
But that doesn't make sense.
The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man fleeing the scene of the crime.
I completely read that one wrong. Ah, a man seen fleeing.
There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, what do you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question.
Should we have discovered him first, I suppose? That would have been something we had not discovered. But we have discovered it, so yes, I know all about it.
So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then?
Now, that's just jumping to conclusions. You never, ever close your doors on a road that may lead to the truth.
That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in Billy. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No.
Oh dear. Mr. Garrideb, the landlord.
Ah, tell me, have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings?
Could I be in this room if I had not? I want to say no. I don't think that there. Wait, was there a way I could have come here first before meeting the Mr. Garrideb? Maybe. I actually don't know.
Yes, Mr. Garrideb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services.
And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service.
Why did he break his sentence like that?
I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
That I was not privy to, so...
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
Oh, you could have let us know that, Susato. I mean, we only had, what, 45 days plus on the ship. That you could have, gotten me up to speed on some things.
And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein.
Betoken their social standing? Sorry?
Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that.
Could it be that Mr. Garrideb is technically under middle class and the maid is fake? Is that the secret that she keeps burning him for? Like, she literally will burn his legs in conversation. So I can only assume that she seems like it feels like she's hiding something more than he's hiding something. At least that's what I'm gathering from that anyway. The upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like she's not a real maid. And maybe he doesn't mind letting that information out, but she has a problem with it for some reason. I don't know. It's just a theory for now, but the fact that he's mentioning this, it feels important somehow. And the only thing I can gather for why he's telling us this in general is that they're not middle class. Because, I mean, I guess as far as we can tell, he only has the one maid, right? I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in a situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrideb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. I don't know, I think less him and more her. At least from my own gatherings. It just feels like he's willing to talk. But for him speaking, she will burn him. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I'm as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. The dingy room. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Is that a leading point, sir? I don't appreciate that. Sosuke stabbed no one. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. That's still a leading point. Like, if the judge was to hear that, he would probably lean towards Natsume doing it. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? Is that going to be important too? No window. Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Yeah, I've never heard of a window tax either. I guess that's how wall side windows stays in business though. Surely not a tax on windows. Dun dun dun! Like, way to break it down for us, Susato. Way to break it down. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Even Susato doesn't agree with this. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. So I'm guessing it doesn't exist anymore. At least that's how I would take to read the first part of his point. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. Yeah, if I inherited a house with all those windows and I realized there was a window tax, something has to give. Something has to go. Bore the windows with bricks if you have to. Well, honestly, I feel like brick is a lot stronger than wood. So I mean, it's just in case of fire or anything, especially when you have like lights lit with by candlelight, basically. I just don't think, I feel like a brick wall just leads to death. I might do a wooden wall, that way I can still like punch my way out if necessary, but brick, that's just a suicide death right there. But the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by finishing them with large sums of tax money. Sums of tax money, I don't know what I just said. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. Yeah, probably more than that. But I could definitely see disease. You have to get fresh air. Fresh air is very important. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. Oh, 40 years ago. So this wasn't just like a, within the last month type of thing. Which means, considering that, Garrideb is 46, was it? There was no way that this was his doing. Unless there was a different reason outside of the window tax for him boarding up that window. But even then, there's no way he boarded it up with brick in less than a couple of days since the stabbing happened. But his legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. Would appear so. Did a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago? That's not much time. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. No. I feel like... Well, I don't know. What does he mean by that exactly? He does not believe that the rent is explained due to the shabby nature of the lodgings. Oh? Ryunosuke says this a lot around him too. Still, it is of little relevance, sir. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. The rent does not speak for the... I wonder if I will keep that in mind. Yes, time will tell. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? I feel like he remembers everything. I truly do. I feel like he remembers a lot more than he pretends, and he pretends not to. Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? See? He knows more than he lets on. Like he just likes playing around. Like maybe this all comes too easy for him. Kind of like how some kids in earlier grade levels, they don't apply themselves too much because it's too easy. Like it's just too easy for them. So they just don't want to apply themselves. Kind of backwards, sure, but they're kids. And that I feel like that's kind of how he behaves. It's just that it's all so easy to him that he can like take the time and have his own fun, maybe even at the expense of those involved. I'm not sure. Not sure. On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir. When an ambition realized so promptly, too. Why is he looking so serious and offering that sentence? Did he not did he not expect us to get this far so quickly? Is that it? I don't understand the look for the sentence. Thing is, It's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence?
Yes, trust. I dealt away with trust a long time ago. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do... Wait. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he?
See, he knows more.
My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea.
Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate?
Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention, but there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Sure.
Oh, I see.
Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing.
Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something.
On the basis of that knowledge, what could he possibly be hiding? Mr. Garrideb is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he?
Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case.
Mr. Naruhodo, as yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrideb's secret. And how do you propose we do that? Where do we start? Like, I mean, we already examined the dang room.
Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not.
So this is something that we definitely have to uncover and will uncover with the way he's saying it. Obviously, he's mentioned it twice. I have thoughts, but I personally don't think it's Mr. Garrideb keeping the secrets, at least not intentionally. I feel Joan stops and prevents him from having his own thoughts being aired out. Like, she doesn't want dirty laundry aired out. Mr. Garrideb probably would, totally, if not for her.
But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo.
A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. And I guess we're going back to the Garridebs? I mean, this is the only way we could get information from him, right? Is to return back to whence we came. 19th February, Mr. Garrideb's room, of course.
Ah, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chop, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?
Aren't you a fan of Sherlock or Herlock? Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid.
Well, Mr. Sholmes is, in his element down there, I suppose.
Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan.
You're gonna get burned.
Now then, why don't you tell me what...
See what I mean? Like this...
The umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bolly well doing?
Like, it's not him. Like, I don't agree that he's hiding something. But... I mean, she is his maid, so... It kind of goes hand in hand, right? I guess.
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you'd be so kind.
You see this? He was going to ask us a question. She spills tea on him. She mentions dinner. And now he's asking us to leave. And who led him to saying this in the first place? Joan. Like, I don't know. She's the one that gives me the bad vibes. Oh, Yes, of course. No, we need more information. Don't know how we're going to pull it from their teeth, but we need it. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. I guess.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb is hiding something. Since no other avenues of investigation seems open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. So we should investigate them. Cause I still, ooh, what's this? I still hold that she has something to hide. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garrideb. Do you enjoy reading?
Ever experienced a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Rank's magazine here, I see. I doubt Mr. Garrideb enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes too. The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. Exactly. He likes Herlock. Though, I mean, I don't know why he's pretending otherwise. Oh, speaking, I see him. Thanks to me moving that over there. Let's see. I didn't examine this. Though I'm pretty sure I have to click on him anyway. So, candle holder looks a little out of place here. What do you say? Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. Still looks pretty gold to me. My eyes might deceive me, but it still looks pretty gold.
That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack. Really.
Oh. Oh.
Used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, it still has its uses sometimes.
Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? Let the guy have his time. He's confined, okay? He doesn't get out anymore. He doesn't get a chance to be free. Let him tell his tall tales. They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. Yeah. She said it in a lot more of a melancholy way, but yeah, exactly. Like, all he has is his memories. Let him tell it up a little bit. He wants to have fun. Okay. Oh, look. What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up? Looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. I don't remember what it looks like.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrideb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea.
That sounds delightful. It does. I would love some tea right now. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand.
Oh, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrideb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. I wanted to say monogamous of you, but that doesn't sound right. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is... Oh dear. It's in pieces. It's like an earthquake hit this place. Everything's tilted or broken. Even the picture frame on the wall behind Mr. Garrideb himself is kind of broken. Like, what the heck? It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Let's hope not. There is no space for that. Yes, probably something like that. Let's not delve too deeply here. Again, you want to delve, you want to dive, you want to swim him in the information, Ryunosuke. A great detective, which is advertised on your game itself. A great detective, or ace attorney in your case, but I feel like it's all the same thing. You want to delve and gather information in your main investigation. Like, there's no, we don't want to dive too deep. Anything can be important. Anything. Ah, what's he doing over there? In the window. Mr. Sholmes, just think about this. If this was a 3DS game, and sure, yeah, it got the HD treatment. But the fact of the matter is, this game was literally on the 3DS at some point. Like, I've played obviously the original trilogy. I've played the Apollo Justice trilogy, which is what they're calling it now. So let's just cover all the other games under that umbrella. I've played them all. And with these games being stuck in Japan for the longest time, I never got a chance to play these. However, as far as intricate video game Ace Attorney games goes, these are up there. Like, I want to say that these top the original trilogy, which was higher than the 3DS made games for me. So yeah, because I feel like the 3DS games got nerfed. This doesn't feel nerfed at all. This actually feels amazing. Like, it's super fresh. It's like, why did they take 12 steps back with the other two entries? Mr. Sholmes?
Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious! When did you sneak in here?
I don't know what to do with this guy's voice.
Collect Sholmes, at your service. The man, the myth, and of course the legend. In your face.
Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space, but a window up here. Well,
keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering.
And one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind.
And with that, we will end this episode, because this sounds like a logic and reasoning thing getting ready to happen, and we do not have the time. So, yeah, as far as this one goes, or as far as what I've gathered, this is going to be a long case. I have thoughts. I feel like it doesn't fully make sense to me, because he could fire her, but it feels like Joan is abusive as freak. And just look at everything we've pieced together so far. The room is a mess. There's broken chinaware. There is a burned, singed rug right behind Sholmes right now. And the picture frames, one being broken, are tilted. Even his great jacket, which he tries to act like isn't that important to him, which, okay, I mean, granted, if that's really the case, I can understand, but I feel like he kind of has opposite syndrome. That jacket is tilted, so it's like something more has happened clearly in this room alone, and she likes to burn him with tea. I don't trust Joan. That's all I can really say. Why he would not fire her, get rid of her, and all that good jazz, don't know, but I feel like she's hiding something. But he would probably be more forthright with information if she was not in the room, which is why I feel like she stays close to his side. Like, she's completely attached to his hip. So, yeah, that is my current analysis of the situation. Hopefully, I don't know if the next time I play this will be the end of this particular case. It doesn't feel like it. I want to say at some point we learned that there are other witnesses. Like, other witnesses popped into my head, so I feel like we have other people to talk to. So this case is probably going to be miles long still, even now. So I guess right at the time being, we have to figure out what secrets Mr. Garrideb is hiding. So yeah, at least that much shall be solved, I think, in the next episode with the logic and reasoning spectacular that Sholmes is getting ready to give us by the sounds of it. So look forward to that. And until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and you all take care.